And we are back at it. Coffee with the Docs. Episode what, Doc?
11.
Episode 11. Dr. Gabriel, Dr. AJ, Awaken Chiropractic. Welcome to this week's edition of Coffee with the Docs. Welcome to it. How you doing, Doc? Give me a little update, buddy.
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. The Easter break for us went well. Got to see some family. And it's Thursday morning. It's Masters Thursday. So I got a bunch of golf to watch this weekend. So I'm pretty jazzed about it.
Yeah, you guys know Dr. AJ. You know he is an avid golfer. Getting me out on the course a few times last year. We're struggling this year, though. You've tried hard with Maggie. Not quite happening. Yeah, you're working on her. You know, if you guys know me, you know, my personal life is a little bit chaotic right now. I was watching the last podcast. I was like, don't cut those into reels, but I look like I'm on my deathbed. And it's because I have been, because I don't sleep anymore. But, you know, having a wonder, it's so much fun raising these children. It's chaos. Dr. AJ, you called me last night, and you got to hear what the background noise looks like just as a baseline at dinner. Like,
yeah,
you guys okay?
Maggie reached out to me, and I was like, "What are you guys doing? It sounds like there's a war zone happening." She's like, "This is dinner time every night."
Yes, it is. This is kind of the baseline, regular black white noise in the background type thing, and you got to be worried when you don't hear it.
Yeah, see, I'm the opposite. You know, the dog doesn't bark too much during dinner, so it's usually very peaceful.
Yeah, so I gotta say, man, it has been really nice being back in the practice, though, at the same time. So I'm back to my regular schedule. So I'm adjusting on Wednesdays as normal, working on pushing chiropractic to the masses the other days here in the back office. But it's been really nice seeing everybody back in the practice, asking us how we're doing at home. And I'm ready for an amazing second quarter. We set some really big goals in our practice to reach the masses. We're going to be talking about some of the things that are coming up in our practice to keep you guys in the loop. But let's move on into our new news from the New Heights podcast. A little shout out to Super Bowl champion Travis Kelce. What things we got going on this week, this month in the practice?
We had a couple anniversaries for team members. We're going to go out to lunch today to celebrate Miss Desiree, our billing specialist. She has been with us for 3 years now. And over the break, Miss Kennedy, who you'll see at the front desk, we're celebrating her second year with us as well. So you'll also see a couple new faces in the office. We're trying to just bring some more people on board to help better serve you guys. We have Jonathan and Jeshua, so you'll see them kind of floating around the office, shadowing, and say hi, introduce yourself. They've kind of been sharing some of their positives throughout the evenings, just getting to know a lot of you guys and just help us be a part of, getting you guys better quality of life.
Yeah, these guys are so aligned with what we stand for. It's really amazing because the majority of people that we've employed at Awaken have come from being practice members because they have so much value. And to go and find somebody out in the public that just has fallen in love with chiropractic, and you can see it on their hearts, and they're going to do an amazing job. Really thankful for these two. You'll see a couple, like you said, a couple new faces. Say hi. They're working on learning everybody's names and being a part of this community and really falling in love with you guys like we have too. Next month, so we're sitting in April, so be prepared. Moving into May, we're going to have our impact drive. Once a year, we have an impact drive, and it's designed to help push chiropractic and our message to the public, right? So we're going to do and incentivize it. So you're going to get raffle. We're not allowed to say raffle. I don't know. It's just a healthcare bull crap, but you're going to get a ticket for anything that helps push the message forward. So if you set up a health talk for us to come speak at your work, you get 10 tickets. If you refer somebody in and they come in, 10 tickets. If you give us a testimonial or video or written, 5 tickets, right? And there's all these different ways, right? And then what we'll do is we'll do all these drawings at the end. I'm making a custom Awaken. Every year I try to make one custom Awaken t-shirt. We're going to be giving the 50 of those out as well through those drawings. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great way to spread the message out to the public as well. And that's really, every year it's been a pretty big hit.
I'm excited about it, as well as a part of that impact drive. One of the focuses for me, just trying to get out and talk to more of you guys, your place of work or your coffee group or Bible study, anything of that nature. So we see a lot conversations in the room. We're like, oh, I tell everyone in my office about this. Let us know that. I'll buy everybody lunch. I'll come speak for 10 or 15 minutes and give everyone an opportunity to come get evaluated on your guys' behalf. And instead of, you trying to convince them how much it's changed your life, let me do it. And, you get some brownie points because everyone at the office gets lunch because of you. So
You're the office hero.
yeah. So definitely ask us about health talks or, what we can do to be a part of what you're doing at work and see if we can come hang out with you for a bit.
Yeah. And this whole thing is very strategic. And when we're doing this, right, we're moving into spring. Everybody's getting more active. There's going to be a lot of gardening. There's going to be a lot of outside play. There's going to be a lot of people getting moving. One of my best testimonials, very first adjustment back in the office on Monday. I think it might have been my first adjustment yesterday. Anyways, regardless, she's like, hey, I just want you to know, I've been getting outside. I've been tearing it up. And I feel amazing. And I couldn't do that before. Just the ability to do what I want to do and not have to worry about it ahead of time, but then also not have to pay the price of being active on the back end. She's like, it's changed my life forever, and I'll be forever grateful for that. Miss Karen, I absolutely love. We've been working together for a long time. You have earned it, girl. You have earned it because you've been disciplined, you've been consistent over time, and the truth is that inside, like what you're experiencing is how it's supposed to, right? And I just wish so many more people could get that. So that's why we plug this drive, if you want to call it a drive, or this push to spread the message of chiropractic out, because this is such a big time where people are starting to get back outside and get active. So very good.
And a lot of things we see in the rooms too. Like early on in care, it's important to stick to your recommendations, even for someone like Miss Karen, who's been under care for many years. That's why we asked that question on the reevaluations. Like, how good are rescheduling appointments are you? And most people that check that box and said, oh, I've never missed an appointment, or I've moved it to another day. Usually, when we look at people's schedules and why people aren't progressing the way we expect them to, if people stick to what we recommend, they usually see better results. We get life is busy and things are sporadic, but we have to prioritize our health and the adjustments sometimes to get that reward, reap that benefit. It's not easy. Healing is hard. But like you like to say, choose your heart. Either choose to be in pain or choose not to. Either one's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Why not choose the one that's going to give you a better quality of life?
Yeah. So abide by the rule that we have in our practice. Don't cancel appointments. Just reschedule them. You're once a week with us, and you have to miss 1 week because you're going out of town. Do 2 weeks. Do 2 times the next week. It's that simple, right? Stay on track. What happens if you stop going to the gym, or you don't get your workouts in as frequently as you want? You ain't gonna get the results. You don't brush your teeth, you ain't gonna get the results. Don't have stink breath. You know what I mean? If y'all's spine could stink like your mouth stinks when you don't brush it, you'd be getting adjusted. Like everybody would be getting adjusted. Most of the people that are seeing this that we're talking to, you guys are not the ones that really need to hear this message, but the people need to hear it. Just walk by and be like, your spine stinks.
Get adjusted.
I used to be my chiropractor. But most people, like Karen, most people are getting worse when, day to day, the body's breaking down faster than it has the ability to build back up. So in the beginning, for most people, they have to go through the first phase of care, and there's 3 phases. Can you hit us back through those 3 phases of care?
Yeah, the first phase of care is all about stopping your body from breaking down or getting any worse. It's called the halt phase. I like to describe it to people as kind of slowing down a freight train, because your body is functioning and firing and existing a certain way for so long, and we're trying to stop it from doing that and start pushing that train back up the tracks the other direction towards a state of functioning and health and healing. But it takes your body quite a long time to restructure and get the way it is, usually when you come into our office. So it takes us a little bit of time and repetition and just retraining of that neurology to transition into that second phase of care. So a lot of times early on, it's not about getting better. It's about stopping your body from getting worse. Yeah. So once we can really kind of shock that system, build some good momentum, and halt that degeneration, if you will, because it's the halt phase, that's when we can kind of transition you into that second phase, basically that restructuring, restabilization. And that's where we're going to get a bunch of those big symptomatic breakthroughs, start feeling, movement in the spine, from a palpation standpoint. And sometimes getting through that first phase of care is hard because you're like, I'm coming here all the time. I feel like I'm a little bit better, but I think I should be completely better. And it's like, we're 3 weeks into a 20-year problem we're trying to fix. It takes a little bit more. I wish I could fix everything in one adjustment, but just like you were mentioning with the workouts, time and repetition. If you have a cavity, you can't brush your teeth once and it goes away. It takes some time and effort. It took a long time for that cavity to get there. Same with the bones in our back. So that entire first phase of care is just about stopping anything from getting worse. And if we don't start the care, it's just going to continue to get worse, and it's going to cost a lot more time and money down the road.
I like to think real quick. I like to think about the brain. Think about the brain when the first domino fell like 20, 30 years ago. Your brain knows. And over the course of 20 years, it's learning how to handle, and typically it learns how to accommodate for it long term. So it's already at the point by the time most people feel the symptom and they finally come into the practice, your body's already gotten used to it to the point where it's pretty stuck in its ways. I love my mom's an amazing woman, but my mom has no idea what we do as chiropractors. And you know what she says to me? Boy, I'm 65. I ain't gonna change. Like she's like, I figured out the way. I figured out life for me. It ain't gonna change now. Stop. That's how the brain sometimes is. It's been like, you want to get adjusted now. It's been 30 years. You want to get adjusted now. I've been dealing with this longer than you've been conscious of it. I ain't changing. Sometimes it's a little stubborn, and its ability to be like, okay, maybe this is a better way. Mom, big shout out here. Not to give everybody out your age there, but I do love you so much. You're beautiful as you've ever been, and maybe one day we can have a conversation about what chiropractic's really about. But I love you, Mama. Big shout out.
Yeah, like you said, though, it's called attenuation. It's where our body no longer tries to improve. It just switches into a state of maintaining or holding. And a lot of times that state is where you're currently at, which is not in a state of healing and recovering. It's just trying to maintain the current level of functionality it has. And every day goes by, gravity, daily stressors, time, everything we put our body through, and it just slowly chips away at that. So if we're not doing anything about it, we're just going to gradually keep going down. So our goal is to stop that in that first phase of care and start improving.
Yep.
We got people that are almost 90 years old that still do marathons. So I don't want to hear it. You're getting old. No, do something about it.
Yeah. And you have the ability, and, it's just a matter of, do you have the desire, right? We always ask, do you have the ability, capacity, and desire to heal? You got to have all three, right? So first phase, stop from getting worse. Second phase, restructuring, or you can call it the stability phase. This is as your body's finally healing again, and you're getting your body back to optimal health, optimal function, optimal structure, so that you can be in the best position for the third phase, which is wellness prevention, which some people have the ability to make that shift and be like, okay, I get chiropractic for prevention and for preservation and for wellness. And some people don't, right? Because we've been bred to be reactive. So I feel better. I'm going to stop doing the thing that got me better. And, sometimes you have to learn that lesson. I did too. Quit chiropractic 4 different times. Regress every single time. Went back and redid the first and second phase again. And then stopped again. And then it took like 4 or 5 years. And I was finally like, hey, doc, can I stay here? Can I do a third phase to this? So it's good. So those are our 3 phases. If you're along the way and you don't know where you're at, I want you to ask us, because everything we do is intentional. We know where you're at. You're on a plan. It's very intentional for where you started and where you're at and where we expect you to go. And if at any point you get discouraged, call a State of the Union with us. Call a meeting with us. Say, hey, doc, can I schedule this some one-on-one time? I don't feel like I'm with you. I feel like I'm being like we're not in sync, right? We should be a team, right? Practice member, doctor, team, right? So if you don't feel that way, I want you to call a State of the Union with us. And one of the biggest things is how do I know if I feel like I'm plateauing? Most people aren't plateauing. Most people are just on a longer stair step, which I'm pretty sure we talked on a previous podcast about. But when you get there, the solution is not to stop chiropractic and try something else. It's to become more disciplined, do something more, because the cost of recovery is probably much higher than what you initially expected it to be, right? Sometimes I feel like people expect to make small changes and have big results. typically the exact opposite. Big changes yield small returns.
Yeah, that reminds me of something you were talking to me about when you were watching the March Madness tournament. Was it the UConn coach when he was talking about discipline?
Yep.
Why don't you?
Yeah. So I'm going to close this up with this. So, women's national championship coach. I don't think it was not UConn, but Don.
Okay, it wasn't men's; it was women's. Okay.
Yeah, women's basketball. And March Madness was wonderful, right? She said, a lot of y'all have league dreams with backyard work ethics, and your parents applaud it, right? And just it got me thinking. Like you hear us talk about, cruise ships or nursing homes. Your choices today, even if you're a kid, like your kids' choices are leading to one of those two. Are in your retirement or your golden years, or like, are you leading towards a retirement or no, your older age is where you're going on cruise ships or spending it in nursing homes, right? Some of y'all got cruise ships like dreams with nursing home work ethic, right? And I'm not just talking about your discipline with your chiropractic. I'm talking about your diet, exercise, hydration, how you handle your emotional stress, the eat, sleep, move, drink, think component to health that we discuss in our lifestyle page. Check out awakenomaha.com, go to the lifestyle page. We talk about that healthy lifestyle that helps lower the stress to make it easier for your nervous system to heal your body so you can get into that second phase. So ask yourself, because most people do have cruise ship dreams. Where's my work ethic? Is it aligned with that? So if you get onto that plateau, ask yourself, is it that I need to stop chiropractic? Or do I need to maybe level up my discipline, my execution, and really get real about the fact that my decisions today will determine my destiny, right? And you guys are in control. That's the beautiful thing in the end. The great lesson of all of this is you're in control. It's your choice, right? And we're here to support and love and nourish and just walk right alongside you the whole way if you allow us to. Love you guys. So we'll talk to you guys next week.